You want to make the gentle parenting work, but how, right? That's why I couldn't execute the gentle parenting techniques, because I was turning into a child myself. What if it was possible to raise kids who want to cooperate, to raise kids who want to be kind? And it sucks and it hurts for you to realize that your best is not enough right now. You have most likely suffered generational developmental trauma. If you cannot execute on the gentle parenting technique, the first most common reason usually is that... Hi, and welcome to the Zen Supermom podcast. In the episode today, we will talk about gentle parenting. What are the 3 most common reasons why it most likely did not work for you, and how your own generational trauma is standing in the way. Wait, what? Generational what? I have no trauma. I grew up with perfectly nice, calm mom, happy childhood. I had everything ever. I don't care, my dear. If you're doing your best to stay calm with your kids, if you're trying to tell them nicely 100 times, you're trying to make that gentle parenting work, and you end up yelling at them anyways, feeling like a little kid full of emotions that you cannot control, feeling guilty afterwards and so ashamed. Like, how am I supposed to help my kids manage their emotions if I turn into being kid and having childish reactions myself? Then we need to talk. How can you make those gentle parenting techniques work for you and your kids so that your kids grow up with healthy emotional control, having their parents as the best example? Curious about how we can make that happen? Well, then the episode today is for you. Let's dive in. Hi, my name is Elena, and I call myself a mommy tantrum specialist because I used to be a specialist at yelling at my daughter as early as when she was about 1 year old. And no matter how many smart parenting techniques I read, no matter how much I loved the theory of gentle parenting, because I grew up with a yelling mom, and so I thought, well, there must be a way how to do it in a nice, like non-threatening, not scary way. I loved the gentle parenting theory. But I couldn't make it work because every time my daughter would trigger me, every time she would say no, every time she was too slow when we had to be somewhere on time, no matter how often I repeated, I tried to explain nicely, logically, this is why it has to happen now. This is why you cannot have ice cream right now. I did my best, absolutely, to be calm, but I couldn't keep it together. And I was like, what the heck? These gentle parenting scripts and all of this is not working. What's wrong with me? Am I so stupid? Or is my daughter different or special? Like, what the heck? And I still see it around. So around the internet, I still get lots of comments because like some of my most favorite, most popular content is about gentle parenting. And I see still so many moms who are so annoyed saying, gentle parenting doesn't work because you will raise your kids as spoiled narcissistic brats with no boundaries. They need to know who's the boss and who decides. They need the strict routines and you need to have the authority because they know they cannot make right decisions. You need to guide them. And I was like, yeah. Okay. So let's put something straight. This episode is for parents who believe that there must be smarter, more effective, less traumatizing way to raise their kids. Not to become obedient unicorns who are scared of you. And that's why they're obedient. That's why they listen to you the first time you ask. But who believe in cooperation, who believe in attachment theory, who believe in connection, first of all, and who believe that actually it might be possible, and what if it was possible, to raise kids who want to cooperate, to raise kids who want to be kind, and who want to learn how to manage their urgencies and needs and frustrations and big emotions, right? This episode is for parents who want to become a healthy model of how to do that with your kids. And you want to make the gentle parenting work, but how, right? There are things you're struggling with. How to set those healthy boundaries and natural consequences with your kids. How to make them listen when they need to listen because you're running late or they're in immediate risk of getting hurt or hurting somebody else. How to make them listen without you having to raise your voice and making them scared or afraid of punishment or bribing them with like positive rewards and sticker nonsense, right? How do you do that? So If that's what you want, let's dive into it. What are the 3 most common reasons why gentle parenting hasn't worked for you yet? Okay, so the first reason why gentle parenting techniques have not worked for you and your kids is because you cannot hold it together, right? All of these, this is what all of the parenting techniques have in common, basically, and that's why I'm not a parenting coach, because before you're even able to apply any parenting theory or script, you actually need to handle yourself first, don't you? Because all of these techniques, they assume that you are emotionally available, safe parent, and that you can execute the parenting strategy in calm. Yes, you can be like, your voice can be no BS, no joking around. You're not trying to become the best friend, like people pleaser or afraid, scared of your kid's reaction. You can have a very firm voice and like a no nonsense face, but doing it with calm energy so that your kids understand that whatever they did, whatever behavior just happened, it's not that you hate them for it, that or you decline your unconditional love. There's still the connection, but you have no nonsense face and calm, collected, grounded energy. This is the first challenge that I see for all of the moms, because it's exactly what it was for me. You cannot execute the gentle parenting techniques if you cannot stay calm. And this is the problem I have with gentle parenting and any other techniques, because they focus too much on the kid and they give you no support or tools how to handle your nervous system, how to handle your emotions that are bubbling up, and the fact that you are becoming a toddler emotionally, like in your reaction. How I was, I'm not going to point fingers at you because I never met you, maybe. I'm going to put the fingers on me. That's why I couldn't execute the gentle parenting techniques, because I was turning into a child myself. So then we end up being 2 kids with my daughter. She was already whining, crying, or making me mad in whatever way. And no matter how hard I try, I ended up being a toddler, having like my mommy tantrum. That's why I call them mommy tantrums, because I ended up having a tantrum over that, right? So the first reason, if you cannot execute on the gentle parenting technique, the first most common reason usually is that you cannot manage your own emotions, that you did not get the help growing up yourself. You did not have healthy role models growing up surrounded by people who taught you how to do that. Because either they were showing you how to be the people pleaser with no boundaries and just like how to avoid making people uncomfortable, how to feel responsible for other people's happiness, or maybe you had both, mom and dad, in these roles. One of them was avoiding people pleaser, and the other one was the explosive anger person who was like pushing too hard and who was yelling at you and who was telling you, your big emotions, your anger, your impatience, not okay. Go into the room, come back when you're a nice, calm, happy girl, and you can say only yes, 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 because no, or your opinion, nobody's interested here. Like, you're crying, just continue. I'm going to give you a reason to, right? Classic sentence. Have you heard that ever when you were growing up, right? So no wonder you cannot manage your big emotions now. Nobody taught you how. Okay? So this is going back to the first parenting trap, like why the gentle parenting technique might not have worked for you so far. So give it a thought. Is that possible that this is your case too? Is it possible that actually your inability to use the gentle parenting script is because you have not been given the safe space to know how to handle your own emotions, and that's why it's so difficult to handle your kids' emotions right now? Is it possible that's the case? Give it a thought. The second reason why I see the gentle parenting is not working for moms that I work with, and also it didn't work for me in the past, was because I did not understand boundaries. I did not understand what healthy boundaries are, because I was always either punished for not respecting it or for having a different opinion or having unwanted emotions, as we talked about before. Or I was given the example of my mom of how to actually avoid having boundaries and how to say yes, even though she was already so burned out and she wanted to say no. I knew it. I heard her talk about it at home, like behind the closed doors, but she was still saying yes. She was still people pleasing. She was still trying to make other people happy. And she was trying to do then with me, then she took it even so far with me and my brother. She was then doing this emotional bribing. And it's like, how do you dare being like having these emotions? How do you dare not being grateful because I'm doing everything for you? Like this resentful blaming and emotional blackmail, like forcing me to walk around on tiptoes because like, how do you dare having your emotions? Because I'm the one who has the right to be angry and stressed out because I have so much on my plate. You have no idea what I'm going through. How dare you? Crying over a broken cup or a little toy, like who cares? This is nothing. Like this is such a little, like don't trigger me by whining, like come on, right? So it was this two extreme unhealthy ways on how to set boundaries or how to make me do what they wanted me to do, was either by punishing me for not doing what was needed or this emotional blackmail, trying to like sneakily get me into feeling or doing what they wanted me to do. So no wonder I was confused, like what the heck? I've still felt it like that's why also I studied so much psychology since I was 14 years old, and I shared it in some other previous podcast episode. Which 15-year-old asks for a psychology textbook for Christmas? Me! Because I wanted to figure it out. How to make my parents happy, right? What do I need to do to change so that they are happy and they make me feel appreciated and good enough afterwards, right? So that's then when I became a mom, I noticed the same tendency. I was like, what do I need to do to make my daughter happy? Because it's not okay that she's crying. It's not okay that she's angry. There's something wrong with me as a mom that I cannot stop her from having bad emotions. Nonsense, right? But that's coming from a person. Yeah, I felt responsible for that. And then for the boundaries, which was this like trap number 2, why you cannot make the gentle parenting techniques work, because you assume it means no boundaries. It means you should let your kids do whatever they want so that they are happy. No, like, no, right? That's not the case. Kids still need the structure. They need to understand natural consequences of their choices and of their actions, of their decisions. They need to understand, if I smash this toy too hard, it's going to break and I'm not going to have a toy to play with. Ta-da! Too bad, okay? They need to understand, okay, if I'm not eating today at dinner or at breakfast, I'm going to be hungry, and so then I need to wait for the next meal. Those are the natural consequences, right? It's not like you will get no TV or we will not go on vacations because you don't deserve it, or there will be no Christmas presents this year because you're such a naughty boy. Santa Claus is not going to bring you any presents. Like, what? No, please. Natural consequences. You keep being dirty and bringing mud in the house, well then here's the mop, here's the thing, and go and clean it up. If you don't, you're not going out the next time, right? Or you're going out naked and then I'm going to give you a shower hose before you enter the house. Your choice, my dear child, right? Natural consequences. Not blaming the child for having big emotions and being impatient and whining and crying and being in pain and making a big deal out of something that from adults' perspective looks like nothing. But making them feel safe and just putting the boundaries around their behavior. Okay? And that's something that is very difficult to do for somebody who grew up not understanding, not experiencing healthy boundaries. If you, just like me, were always punished or emotionally blackmailed into obedience, then it will be very hard to understand what are those natural consequences. How does that even feel? Is it even possible? That's impossible to do with the kids. Why would they obey if they understand that? Like, no, that's not even like, no, that's too good to be true. Of course you're feeling this way. So again, just like with step number 1 or challenge number 1, This is, I'm just trying to show you, more than about your kids and trying to make them comply to some gentle parenting strategy. It's again more about you. Trying to clean up what was not okay in your childhood so that, because you need to understand at first how those healthy boundaries and natural consequences work. Because chances are it's not just your kids who's struggling with it. How good are you setting your own boundaries in your life, and even you respecting your own boundaries and the word you give to yourself, the promises you make to yourself? Are you good at keeping them? That's why the work starts with you before any other gentle parenting technique can work for your kids. Make sense? Very good. If you're staying with me, if you haven't smashed your computer or phone yet, it's like, nah. It's like, nah, what are you telling me, crazy girl? Then the chances are very good. If this is resonating with you, then the chances are very good that you're getting it, you're opening up your awareness. We will get there. Don't worry. The third reason why you cannot make the gentle parenting techniques work for you and your kids, usually, again, in what I see with my clients and also what I experienced firsthand with myself, is I could not get rid of these patterns. I felt like it's generational. It's the voice of my mom. It's exactly when I felt like I'm losing my patience. It's too much. I'm too stressed out. I'm too exhausted, too hungry. I didn't sleep enough. I just don't have the power to be nice, calm mom. I started turning into my mom. I started feeling like my face probably became what I remembered my mom's face used to be when she was losing it. I started using the same phrases, the same tone of voice, the same biting cold. And then sometimes it got even so bad that I was not even saying things or shouting, but I became silent and just like frozen, quiet treatment. And that I remember as a kid, that was always the worst, because then it lasted for hours and I felt like I had to, again, tiptoe around my mom, or I had to do my absolute best to try to like get her out of that frozen, nasty state by being super extra nice, again, taking care of her emotions. So my emotions were not allowed. However I thought it was unfair, the treatment she was giving me, I could not have the luxury of dealing with my emotions because I had to take care of her emotions, because this is the most painful thing for any child, is feeling the rejection, the detachment of the parent, because it's like, oh, shoot, what have I done now? Like, oh my goodness, mom is not talking to me, or she's so mad, she's pushing me away, she's rejecting me, she's abandoning me, she's leaving me alone. That's actually the worst punishment. That's why I hate, and I don't use the word hate too often, my clients would tell you, I hate that old traditional conservative parenting approach that kids should be put on a naughty chair, or that they should be sent into their room and like think about it and come back when you're ready to apologize. Like, what? This is actually the worst trauma that can be given to a child. Yeah. And you need to understand, if that's what you experienced in your childhood, then this is the reason why it keeps repeating with you now. That's why whenever any of these beautiful, gentle parenting techniques are not working for you, whenever you get as frustrated and worked up and just overwhelmed, even sensory overwhelmed, like too much noise and too much chaos, and you're just like, I cannot take it anymore, then you will go back to your default. And the default very often is the blueprint, is like the brain patterns that our parents gave us, that we experienced how they were acting when we were little. That's what makes these patterns actually generational, and that's why it makes them so stubborn to get rid of. That's why I don't care how many gentle parenting books and videos you read and watch. I could not care less. All of this, as long as it's only in the brain theory, you might be able to execute it when your kid is calm, when you're calm on a sunny Sunday afternoon. Perfect. And you'll be like, oh yeah, it's working. But then comes stressed out Monday morning when you're running late, the kids don't have it, like they are too tired and grumpy, you're already losing time and noticing you're going to be late for work, and then flip! The gentle parenting scripts are not going to work. You will go back to your default. Okay? So this is again explaining where really the focus should not be on your kids, not on the scripts, not on some parenting techniques. I think you already know where I'm going with this. This is really all about giving your kids what you didn't have, which is healthy role model, breaking that generational pattern of making it somehow feel okay that it's fine for adults, for big people to have big emotions because we are so important and I need to get to my job and I need to make the money. Otherwise, we have nothing to eat and we cannot go on holiday. So my big emotions, my stress, my yelling because we are late, it is justified. Now you're yelling, you being upset because you're hungry, you lost your favorite toy, or your best friend told you yesterday that she's not your best friend anymore. I don't care. Those are silly little childhood things. Like, you have no idea what I'm dealing with. So I'm the one who can have big emotions and you cannot. So shut up. Otherwise I'll give you the reason. Right. Generational trauma. And I have some podcast episodes that explain that even if you had a happy childhood like me, nothing worse than my mom yelling and stressing was happening to me. I was never even beaten up. I was never traumatized by any shocking event, like any kind of abuse or horrible events happening. I had a perfectly happy childhood. I'm nothing but grateful to my parents. I know my mom did the best she could, and she already did better than her parents because they beat her up. It was horrible, my mom's childhood. She made my childhood so much easier than hers. I know she already cleaned up so much. She did the best she could. I will love her forever for the rest of my days. I'll be so grateful to her. And it's time also to recognize where our parents were not perfect and what is the part that is still up to us as moms or dads to clean up so that our kids don't get impacted by that. Because if your kids are already a few years older, you start seeing the impact, right? Lower self-confidence, ADHD-like symptoms, behavior, attention issues that they might tell you about at school. It's all related. It's all coming from here. And you know that. You already suspect that's true. And this is actually your worst nightmare. Because rather than you benefiting from pouring so much time, effort, energy, and love into your kids, because I know you do. That's why you're here listening to this podcast, even now. Well, I'm like so direct with you. You could have already left if you felt like, no. But you're still here. And that's why, because you're extremely loving mom, you want the best for your kids. You're already sacrificing so much of your time and energy. You want them to remember the best of their childhood. And it sucks when you realize that's probably not going to be the case, because I just yelled at them again. They are going to remember how awfully out of control mommy was and how she yelled and what mean things she said, or even that you slapped them. It's not fair, right? That this will be the image they will have of you, because you are doing your best. And it sucks and it hurts for you to realize that your best is not enough right now. So this is why I wanted to share that with you. Your best is not enough, not because you're not good enough, but because you're looking at the wrong place. You have most likely suffered generational developmental trauma. What happened to you as a kid? The fact that you had no emotional safety growing up. You did not grow up knowing what healthy boundaries and natural consequences are, because you were either punished or emotionally blackmailed, and you had no healthy role models of understanding how to deal with big emotions. They were always suppressed. It's not your fault that you're struggling with this. But this is why I wanted to do this podcast episode, so that you understand it's time to stop wasting your precious time and energy on learning gentle parenting techniques, or any other parenting techniques for that matter. You're not ready to be really a healthy parent for your kids. Not yet. Because what is the first step you need to do? If you listened well to this podcast episode, you might be getting it. This has nothing to do with your kids. They are triggering you. They set you off. But it did not start with them. And the reason why you cannot figure it out as a DIY on your own, no matter how many books and videos you watch, it's because it's going all the way back to your childhood. So let this awareness be the light, like the hope at the end of the tunnel. This is what you need to be able to make the gentle parenting techniques work. You need to heal your generational trauma. Yes. I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear. I know you're probably looking for some quick fix. Just like, give me the one script, give me the one abracadabra thing so that my kids listen. Because when they listen, I will be a calm, nice mom. I have no problem being a nice, calm mom. I love them. Let me just do something with my kids so that they stop bothering me so that I can be the calm, nice mom. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. It starts from you. Only when you are the grounded, calm, cool, collected mom, then you become the best role model. Then you can show them what healthy boundaries actually are. Then you can give them the emotional safety to express any emotions that are coming up, because you will feel safe handling your emotions in a healthy way without vomiting them out and punishing your kids with them. Make sense? So let me know what came up for you. If it made sense, if like what out of these three things, the three reasons why gentle parenting techniques didn't work for you, let me know which of them you resonated with the most, or if it was all three of them, because my childhood sounds exactly like your childhood. That is very often the case. Let me know in which way you're like, yeah, makes sense, but... So you have some questions or you have specific scenarios or situations where you don't get it. You don't get the connection with your own childhood. And you're like, nah, this cannot be generational because my situation was completely different. Let me know. I'll be happy to respond to you either personally, or I will make another podcast episode about it if I hear that often. Great. The most important takeaway, like what I want you to walk away with today is, you're an amazing mom. It's not your fault. I can imagine you are probably suffering a lot. You're feeling guilty and frustrated and helpless, and you're trying to just find anything that would work. So please know there's nothing wrong with you. All of this can be healed. It can be done very fast. And all you need is just to find a person who you trust who can help you with that. Generational trauma healing is not a DIY. Okay? And the moment, this is what I'm hoping, and that's the inspiration I want everybody to see. That's why I'm sharing so many podcast episodes with past clients who are showing the hope, because it can be done fast. It doesn't have to take years. And it's so freeing. It feels so much lighter. It's not about perfection. I'm not promising that, heal your generational trauma so that you can never yell again. I'm not here to promise unicorns and rainbows. You will have your big emotions, yeah. But you will learn how to work with your anger without punishing your kids with that, without making them scared, without imprinting that generational on them. Yeah, that's what is possible within few months. Yeah, so give it a thought. Take some deep breaths. Give yourself some love, because nobody else will. You are going to save yourself. Stop waiting for somebody to come and rescue you. You can do it yourself. You can be your own hero of your journey. You can turn it around. You can stop the generational domino of not good enough and emotions are bad or whatever. You can absolutely stop that. Hundreds of people have already done that so quickly. So just celebrate yourself. Send me the feedback you have and reach out whenever you're ready to do it. Yeah. Take very good care in the meantime, Supermom. I'll see you in the next episode of the Zen Supermom podcast.